People like Bishop Tutu, Nelson Mandela, and I would certainly describe your state as a apartheid state, with different laws for people depending on their race or religion. For example, at checkpoints going into the West Bank, there's a channel if you're Israeli or European, and there's a channel if you're Arab. Just because you're Arab. If you came into Dáil Éireann and they stopped you and said, "Are you Jewish?" "Oh no, sir, you can't come in through the same entrance as Irish people or European people because you're Jewish," you would call that racism and apartheid. You practice that with your checkpoints and your military.
Okay.
It is the Palestinian people on the ground who are not represented in any conversation among diplomats and barely represented in the global media that are leading the charge. What is happening now in the West Bank, inside Green Line Israel, and obviously in Gaza, reflects years and years and years of grievance and pressure that has clearly reached a breaking point. And the evictions in Sheikh Jarrah, the assault on protesters at Al-Aqsa, was really just the tip of the spear of what Palestinians have been enduring. And you're seeing that they have been provoked and things are increasingly out of control. And I think what's also out of control are the Jewish vigilantes that are terrorizing Palestinians and Palestinian families, on top of the Israeli military that is, of course, terrorizing the people of Gaza most dramatically and most directly. And even more blatant is the failure of the UN Security Council to act, is the fact that the United States stopped them from issuing a ceasefire resolution on Friday. I mean, this was Ambassador Thomas Greenfield, the new U.S. ambassador to the UN's first prominent action at the UN Security Council was to block a ceasefire resolution, to insist that all parties stop fighting. So if anything, the United States at the UN Security Council has ensured that Israel can carry on with its bombardment, could have, as Netanyahu has asked, as much time as they need, as they call it, and want to bombard Gaza.
The society in Israel, the Jewish society in Israel, is increasingly becoming fanatical, religiously fanatical. They want to take the mosques, they want to take the houses, they want to take the land. In other words, there will be no more Palestine or Palestinians. So what do you do in this case? In this case, you have to explode in anger, and this is what we are seeing.
אנחנו גם מודפים בתוקף את הלחצים שלו לבנות בירושלים, ולצערי הלחצים הללו מתגברים בעת האחרונה. אני אומר גם לידידינו הטובים ביותר, ירושלים היא בירת ישראל, וכפי שכל עם בונה בבירתו ואת בירתו, גם לנו שמורה הזכות לבנות בירושלים ואת ירושלים. כך עשינו וכך נמשיך לעשות.
Staff had been evacuated following warnings from Israeli officers. Israel says it was targeting Hamas military intelligence. Earlier, Palestinian officials said Israeli airstrikes killed 14 people, including 5 children, in a densely populated refugee camp.
But let's be really clear here. The deliberate targeting of civilian objects and extensive, unjustified destruction of property is a war crime. Destroying entire multi-storey homes, making tens of families homeless, amounts to collective punishment of the Palestinian population and is a breach of international law. And that's been said many times before, including by leading Israeli human rights groups. B'Tselem, for example, have said targeting apartment towers, which are not military targets, and leaving dozens of families homeless is a war crime. And let's also be clear here, even if some parts of buildings are occupied by members of Hamas for alleged military purposes, that doesn't justify wiping out entire apartment blocks. And Gaza is one of the most densely populated areas in the world. So where do you expect people to go when you make them homeless? And we need to be very clear with our language as well. This is not a conflict. This is about a people struggling for independence, freedom and dignity against an oppressive colonial superpower that is armed to the back teeth.
والله عمرك يا ماما ما رح تموتي والله بإذن الله رح تضلك عايشة. ليه تموتي يا عمري؟ مين قال بدك تموتي؟ مين قال ماما؟ لا يا قلبي خايفة تنهد الدار. لا يا ماما ما بتنهد الدار، ما تقلقي.
خايفة احنا كلنا نموت.
In the dark of another long night in Gaza, a desperate search for signs of life. A four-story building in a densely packed refugee camp hit repeatedly, according to eyewitnesses, and razed to the ground. The rescue operation was frantic, yielding only a catalogue of death. 2 families obliterated, at least 7 people, including 5 children.
I'm always sick. I don't know. I can't do anything. See all of this. What do you expect me to do? Fix it? I'm only 10. I can't even do anything this morning. I just want to be a doctor or anything to help my people, but I can't. I'm just a kid. I don't even know what to do. I get scared, but not really that much. I do anything for my people, but I don't know what to do. I'm just 10. I'm just 10. All of this, when I see it, I literally cry every day, saying to myself, why do we deserve this? What did we do to this? My family said they just hate us. They just don't like us because we are Muslims. Why does Muslims act for you like that? We're just kids. You see all of the kids around me? They're just kids. Why wouldn't you just send a missile to them and kill them? It's not fair. It's not fair.
Now, as we heard there, the death toll has risen. Dozens of children are among those who are being killed by these Israeli attacks. Can you tell us more about the toll that this violence is having on children?
Absolutely. The longer this conflict is protracted, and we've seen every day an escalation, and the numbers of children being killed and the numbers of children being injured. We've calculated that since the start of this fighting on the 14th of May, every hour 3 children are injured. And these injuries are lifelong injuries, life-changing injuries. There are many children that will have long-term, lifetime disabilities, not to mention the astronomical impact on their mental health and the scars that they will carry through for the remainder of their lives.
So what do you believe can be done to help children during attacks like these?
I mean, it's critical. The first and foremost thing is to stop the attacks. There has to be an immediate ceasefire. And an immediate ceasefire means that Israel has to stop the airstrikes and the incursions into Gaza.
ايش مالي؟ هلا في صوت طيارة خفيش. العبي خفيش خلاص تعال خلاص يا سارة خلاص يا بابا خلاص. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. يلا خلاص وين هلا راح للأسف. طبعا يا جماعة احنا هيك خلصنا فيديو اليوم لأنه مش حنقدر نكمل معاكم. هاي صوتها، هاي صوت طيران. خلص يا بابا خلاص تخافيش. طبعا احنا اليوم خلاص بعيد. طبعا احنا خلصنا هيك خلاص. يلا جماعة احنا خلصنا فيديو اليوم. طبعا سامحونا. يلا قول لهم باي خلاص.